Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Lau. Hi, Lowsutea President. I'm glad that you folks are joining us on a Saturday regarding on this very important topics. I gotta share with you some story why I thought that those would be very appropriate. The reason is I have a customer who actually have been using Lowsutea for just a short little while, but on the other hand, unfortunately, her blood sugar was well controlled now, but the nerve damage was way before drinking Lowsutea. So net result, her memory become really kind of bad, and net result, she has could not actually see or recognize the husband. Anyway, the reason why I want to stress a little bit why we want to do this webinar is because of the fact that this lady, actually 75 years old, I guess, she started the Lowsutea drinking program, but unfortunately her blood sugar was controlled, but that was controlled like within the last 4 months with Lowsutea. Her A1C was much better. It's still around seven. But on the other hand, is but on the other hand, I must say though, just 7 is not the most ideal. But from her before her Lowsutea was terrible. I mean, before Lowsutea, the blood sugar was terrible. And now her blood sugar was, although it's low, but the damage was done way before that. And so net result of that, we found that she now start not recognizing the husband and the children. So really sad. At 70 years old, you can't recognize the husband. The husband would feel very upset because, oh my goodness, I'm married for so many years. My wife can't recognize me anymore. And the children also. So that's why I thought that would be nice to at least talk about this program, at least let you guys know exactly what happened when your blood sugar all plugged up your brain and you can't be really yourself anymore. And I think that's really hope that with that you can have some idea what to do. Okay, so that's why we did that. 各位朋友，我係 Andrew 啦，Lowsutea President 你好。今日其實咧，點解我咁重要係講呢個節目嘅原因咧，就係第一，因為好多糖友咧，其實就唔知道咧，原來糖尿病仲可以影響個腦嘅。如果影響腦咧，你就會變咗真係學你話齋，唔記得你個先生啦、細佬哥啦，或者老公或者老婆啦。哇，好慘啊！因為啱啱有個糖友咧，佢飲去糖茶咧就幾好嘅，佢blood sugar 好高，但係依家跌到係大7個咁上下啦。咁但係都係高啊，但係 at least 即係已經控制好過近就好多啦。咁呢個係幾個月嘅，但係可惜咧越整越差咧，就係佢依家開始唔記得佢老公，佢老公就好 upset 話我老婆唔記得我啦咁啊。So I think is 好 sad 啊，因為佢即係見咗咁多40年50年嘅老公，依家唔記得咗，佢仔女又唔記得咗，咁而家就係一個好唔係咁開心嘅東西啦。咁但係好可惜咧，呢個唔記得咧係唔翻轉頭嘅。咁呢個係最難嘅接受嘅東西。So, as I mentioned, my client, 70-something years old, now cannot remember the husband and the children. The sad part is, although in a short term, her blood sugar has improved because of Lowsutea, still in the 7, but at least it's better than way before. But on the other hand, the sad part is she now cannot recognize the husband, and that is not reversible because that will not able to improve further down the road because that is damage. So I just hope that this program at least alert you guys what to do, and then you can able to have a better understanding. So let me bring over the slide so you can see the slide. Today, at least, we show you 5 ways to kind of look at how to decrease or dementia risk. So it is a very good topic. I did a lot of research on it, and it impacted me because one of my clients also have the same issue. So I thought that if we can give you some indication that we can understand, that will help you a lot. Okay. 各位朋友，其實咧今日我講嘅呢個節目嘅時候咧， 其實我覺得都好有即係表達性嘅原因，就係因為我真係依家有個病人咧係糖我哋減咗啦，但係佢因為已經係好耐以前已經係好差，咁依家咧就已經變咗真係唔記得嘢，老公都唔記得埋，咁所以咧變咗係我希望今日講嘅嘢係幫助你好多糖友咧係點能夠唔會fall into呢個情況。咁今日咧好多朋友係喺不同嘅地方嚟啦，美國啦。香港啦、新加坡啦、夏威夷啦、加州啦，咁好多人都喺度嘅，咁好多謝各位同學。So today was really nice. We have a lot of people from various places: Hawaii, Philippines, Singapore, Hong Kong, and also United States, Los Angeles, and also Vancouver. So it was really nice. We have a bunch of people. So give me just a couple minutes real quick to 5 minutes real quick to just catch up for all the new people. First of all, as you know, diabetes you only can control, cannot get well. And don't misunderstand. There are a lot of people say I could get well. Yes, you could get remission, but you still have to do the same thing to control. What I mean is you have to put your A1C from 6.4 all the way down to 5.7. This is the range that you gotta go down. If you're 7, you're not there yet. So in order to do that, you have to control your diet, your low carb diet, you have to exercise, you have to measure blood sugar, you have to weight control. Don't drink juice, don't eat white powder food, drink Lowsutea will help you. And really, at the end of the day, you have to continue to track. If you don't, you might get into trouble without even knowing. So only thing you can control. Pre-diabetic is the same thing. I have a customer who are pre-diabetic, and guess what? Suddenly it become, our sugar has gone up tremendously. So that's really sad. So you got to remember, keep controlling. 嗱，各位朋友，糖尿病咧係永遠唔好嘅，只係能控制，所以一定要由你 A1C 由去到高咧，去到6.4以下，最好就去6.7啦。咁同埋咧一定唔好食白粉啦，任何白粉啊、飯啊、麵包啊、飲血糖茶啊，同埋前期同埋糖尿病都係一樣嘅。So 4 stage of diabetic. First, your cholesterol goes up and your blood sugar also go up. Both are damaging your B cells. And when you damage the B cells, the blood becomes thick. And the stage 2 is the blood becomes thick. Then you form all the plaques. So we've clogged up entire body system, just going to your heart, your eyes, everything. If you don't do anything, guess what? Your third stage will continue to develop and you become a pre-diabetic, next thing your A1C going up from 5.7 over 6.4. If you continue to do the same thing, don't change your lifestyle, after 6.4, you become diabetes. Once you have 2 times measure your blood sugar of diabetes, you're ever diabetic. You will never turn back. So this is the typical 4 stage of becoming diabetes. And why Lowsutea work is because we have guava leaves that block sugar into the cells, into the bloodstream, because after you eat, sugar enter your gut and then they will reabsorb into the bloodstream, and guava leaves have blocked that sugar into that bloodstream. However, some of them still go in. So bitter melon will act as an insulin, take sugar into the cells, and on top of that, it will also dump all the excess sugar out the urine, cholesterol out urine, sodium out urine, and then eventually you also decrease your blood sugar, cholesterol, your blood pressure, because all the salt will dump out, and you also detox. So that's how it works. And if you don't do anything, unfortunately, your potential risk of stroke, cataract, pancreas malfunction, more important, heart disease. 40% of people get heart disease, and you have nerve damage, high blood pressure. You might end up amputated, and also your kidney damage may end up with dialysis. And 30% of people have no sex because they have no feel. And today we will talk a lot about nerve damage today, so there will be something highly related what we're talking about. OK， 各位同學，如果你唔有控制咧，你會 end up 就係咩嘅咧？就會有中風風險啦，眼嘅青光眼啦，你個胰島素唔出嚟啦，咁你就唔夠胰島素啦，咁你啲糖計又高啦，40% 嘅糖尿病病者有心臟病嘅風險啦，同埋咧今日咧就會講好多就係點神經嘅損壞啦，同埋呢個血壓高啦，仲有如果隻腳冇咗痛咧嘅時候咧，你個可能即係傷咗隻腳都唔知咧。 個腳就唔會好，要割咗個腳啦。咁個腎又會損壞嘅時候咧，咁你就要即係洗腎啦，同埋30%嘅人咧係冇咗性功能，咁就好慘啦。咁所以變咗嚟講咧，其實即係呢個咧，即係你要繼續控制你血糖。咁點解其實飲去糖茶 work 咧？就係因為第一，去糖茶咧幫助將啲糖咧唔會入去血管裏邊。第二咧就有個有苦瓜帶啲糖，好似胰島素帶啲糖入細胞裏，同埋仲有咧就啲糖同埋膽固醇同埋鹽咧喺個尿嗰度走出嚟，咁變咗就全部降低晒。咁呢個係一個好好嘅東西，所以變咗繼續飲點解有用咧？真係有用㗎啦。咁其實我哋個公司嘅 objective 咧就係our objective really helping our people, our whole group lower the blood sugar. If they are pre-diabetic, we'll help them to prevent them to conversion to be diabetes. If they are diabetic, we'll hope that they lower their complication so they never get into all the issues that we just talked about. And on top of that, I hope that, with the diet program, exercise program, weight control program, will continue to bring down your A1C from 10 to 5%, 5.7%. About, if people have A1C up even 10%, we saw many of them drop down to 5.7. We did now see a lot of them now. So they will get healthy blood sugar level. And that's our whole objective here. And that's why we'll give you all the education so you can continue to help yourself to be achieving that. 嗱，各位同學，我哋最重要咧，我哋任務咧，其實係就幫助我哋嘅糖友。如果係前期患病嘅，佢就唔會變咗糖尿患病者；如果係糖尿患病者，佢唔會更加有嚴重嘅糖尿病。第三，同埋佢食嘅嘢啊，同埋佢嘅 diet 佢能夠令到佢咧係能夠繼續當糖降低啦。咁我哋有 exercise program 啦，同埋有點控制嘅磅數 program 咧，我哋而家學嘅嘢啦，同埋點去度血啊嗰啲咧，希望佢由 A1C 跌到去5.7，由 A1C 高至上面跌到5.7，呢個就我哋所做嘅東西。咁我哋大家都有個好嘅健康嘅糖尿嘅水平咧，咁佢就唔會有好多併發症出現啦。So let's talk about today. As I mentioned, it really touched my heart when one of my clients cannot recognize the husband. Oh my goodness, that's how upsetting. The husband was so sad. They said, hey, married over 40 years and my wife could not recognize me anymore. Children cannot recognize. And I don't want any of us, especially our own client, our friend, whoever, will have this situation, because this is a really sad 40 years marriage and you cannot recognize each other, how bad it is. So I hope that we could able to eliminate all that, and maybe, hopefully, through this education, you understand what to look for. Okay? 嗱，各位同學其實好慘啊！我見到好多朋友咧，如果佢真係結咗婚40年，老公忽然間唔記得咗係邊個，你仔女又唔記得晒，哇！真係好陰公，你係邊個啊？咁好陰公。咁同埋咧，呢個係可以能夠控制到嘅，其實可以即係你可以能夠有個機會。未去到一個情況嘅時候咧，你係控制到嘅。咁今日咧，又希望呢個東西咧，俾一啲機會俾你知道，咁你就開始控制呢樣嘢。So as you know, this is controllable in the early stage, but once you get to a late stage, I'm sorry, you cannot control anymore. That's really sad. So I hope today our lecture or our information hopefully give you an insight how you can able to prevent you to get to that stage. Now, a lot of people actually don't realize this stage actually is kind of gradually come through. It's not like suddenly, boom, you will get that, okay? It's kind of gradual, and so gradual that in a way that you might even don't recognize it, how severe it is. That's the sad part, and that's the sudden part, okay? Dementia is affected 50 million people in the world. And 10 new cases diagnosed every year at this time. And they think that this will even extremely fast growing in about 30 years. That probably another 150 million people will be affected. So in other words, this is going to be a severe problem. Worse yet, this is your computer. This computer doesn't work, so you cannot recognize people. And the sad part right now, there's no treatment of dementia. And only thing you can change is before you get to that part, you have a healthy lifestyle, the lower the risk to getting yourself a dementia. And this webinar at least give you the 5 ways to lower that dementia with risk. At least you have the understanding what to look for and prevent that stage in that part. Okay. 嗱，各位朋友，其實咧，原來全世界咧有50個 million 嘅人已經係有呢種嘅腦退化症嘅。咁腦退化症咧，其實咧每年都有10個 million 嘅人上嚟去，每年都增加。如果30年裏邊咧，佢話仲更加快，有150個 million， 哇，好勁喎！咁所以變咗嚟講咧，其實咧最弊咧 dementia 係冇得 treat 嘅，第一隻係控制嘅啫。因為如果一到腦退化到嘅情況係翻唔到轉頭嘅，你只係可以控制。OK， 咁我希望今日咧就5個大環節俾到咧係能夠降低咗呢個 risk， 咁你就唔會去咗嗰度先。咁一去咗之後咧，唔好意思，翻唔到轉頭，記住啊！所以呢個咧係一個幾好，今日聽書嘅人咧，我會希望有得着啦。That's why I thought that today will be really good to help you, at least give you the sign and symptom to look at or look for, so you will not get into that spot. And again, you might be totally physically no problem. You can walk around and do things, but you cannot remember people, cannot remember all those things. You cannot have short memory. And it will come and it will show you all these signs. So dementia, basically, let's define what that is, okay? And dementia is defined as you cannot ability to remember. You can't remember. Short-term memory, long-term memory is gone. You can't think. You can't make decisions that can work with your daily life. In other words, you can't even figure out how to cook even, okay? And matter of fact, a lot of people now associate dementia as called Alzheimer's disease. Matter of fact, they even call this the type 3 diabetic nowadays as an Alzheimer's disease. And it's always affect mainly certain elder people, but this is not part of your normal aging. This is not normal aging. It's not because I'm old, I would do that. No, this is beyond your normal aging. So keep that in mind, okay? 嗱，腦退化症，咩叫腦退化症咧？其實就係你會開始唔記得嘢，同埋咧你亦都冇諗到點去諗嘢啊，亦都會係好影響你嘅正常生活。你唔記得點煮飯啦，好多老人家仲有人唔記得就係熄火啊！呢個是最大問題，即係煮緊飯唔記得熄火，咁啊煮到爆啲嘢啊，燒着咗啦。喺呢個好多人有呢個嘅，咁同埋咧好多時咧好多呢啲咁嘅人咧就會有 Alzheimer disease 咧係好 common 嘅。咁依家你知啦，大病好多叫做 type 3 diabetes 就叫 Alzheimer disease 啦，應該我可能下一頭會講呢樣嘢俾大家多了解嘅。咁但係咧最大問題咧，呢個唔係普通老人嘅症狀，呢個係 beyond 咗老人嘅症狀啊，所以要好小心。And so I will further probably give you more information on Alzheimer or type 3 diabetes next lecture. But this lecture starts you off to give you a little appetite what's the dementia first, because I think many of us are all in the age over 65, and you are actually right in that alley now. So you got to really better identify yourself. Are you really having dementia, or you are really just typical normal aging? Okay. So let's talk about what is not dementia. It's just normal aging. Now, normal aging is very interesting, because as we go old, our memories is not going to be that good. And we all expect that. It's no problem. And many times you might say, oh, where's my key? I couldn't find it. Where's my phone? I do that all the time. I have to call myself, by the way, to find my phone and ring. It's over there. Okay. So you can really have that, but that's not dementia. This is just normal aging. And you're young, you can do that too. And a lot of time you can't find the right word to describe something. I didn't know that all the time. And you can remember the name. That's okay. But you can remember the face. I can't remember what's the guy's name. Or your friend name. That's normal. And even you're 40 years old, you have that problem. And you can also kind of forgot just a recent event. That's okay too. But when you get your getting old, for example, you start really forget all this. Eventually, you also like your muscles start getting weak. Your artery become more stiffened. You will actually get even worse on this kind of thing. So that's why you have to continue active and don't get yourself too old, so to speak, especially at 60 years. That's why you have to keep walking. If you don't walk, you don't go associate, then yes, when you get older, everything will become slowing down. Everything will grow and your memory will continue to slow down. So that is something that you can work on. But more importantly is remember, if you're old, this is not dementia, what I just mentioned. This is just being old, okay? 嗱，其實由腦退化症咧，唔係等於你腦就會即係退化嘅 ，OK？ 嗱，咁所以咧好重要咧，你要記住咧，如果你係好嘅時唔記得條鎖匙擺邊度啊，電話擺邊度啊，有時自己打翻自己嘅電話去揾啊，或者字唔記得咗啊，點講個名啊，人名又唔記得咗啊，啱啱發生嘅東西又唔記得咗，呢啲未必係腦退化症嘅，只係你係驚老嘅啫。咁有陣時我依家60歲都會有咁嘅情況喎 ，OK？ 其實40歲我都試過㗎啦，唔係依家有陣時好忙嘅時候咧，你真係唔記得嘅。咁所以變咗嚟講咧，呢啲唔係老。咁同埋當你去老嘅時候咧，你個人咧唔喐咁多咧，你又個 muscle 唔 work 啊，樣嘢唔 work 嘅時候咧，你所有嘢呢啲亦都會影響你嘅腦，即係你自己好多嘢唔記得嘅。所以其實應該繼續去喐，繼續行，繼續走，咁你就幫助你咧係唔會咁快咧，好多嘢都唔記得。So remember what I just gave a sample. Those are just normal aging. It is not really dementia. But when you dementia, you will see this. You actually sign and symptom dementia comes in is you got to start really losing memory. You can't remember, like for example, one very good example, I can tell you, this is my mother-in-law. She is actually showing me the exact same sign. She will ask me about 17 times, have you eaten dinner yet? 17 times. Or they ask you, when are you leaving? 17 times or 18 times. And this is like 2 minutes ago, ask the same question over and over again. And this period will ask, and you might have a grandmother that has the same thing. They ask you over and over again. And you say, man, this lady is crazy. All these things. But, you know, I understand she hasn't getting a sinus dementia. So you really need to think about when they start doing that, that is starting an early sign of dementia. Because in short memory, 1 to 2 minutes, she'll ask you the same question over again. She don't remember she asked you. So you gotta really cannot be frustrated, say, are you crazy, man? Keep asking the same crazy. That's very irritating. But at the end of the day, she herself actually do not remember. So be patient, say, yes, I have did this. Yes, I ate dinner. Yes, I already, do this. So you answer her short question answer rather than ignore and get upset will be better because you have to be patient with that. So that short memories are gone. Besides long-term memories are gone. That is an early sign of dementia. On top of that, she have difficulty communicating. She can't find the right word and having difficulty talking to you. And on top of that, her judgment, reasoning, problem solving are slowly disappear. Cannot take care of a problem. Can't even write a check. You tell them to do something they cannot do. These are the early signs. On top of that, their visual perception are different. In other words, some of the things that we notice, they will see things differently, darker, blur, and the attention span is very minimal. They can't pay attention. And they will be even going out to the similar places like the neighborhood. They forgot where it is. A lot of these people will come in early by saying, I can't remember where to go back to my home. And if they ask that, they are really getting dementia, very getting worse and worse and worse. That's why when people have dementia, they really need to be attentive by some relative, friends, whatever, keep them company, because these are a very common sign coming. Now, they may start out with small things first, memory loss, I can't get the right word, things like that. Ask you the same question, repeat. That's a very common sign, okay? So if you have that, you better take that patient to the doctor, find out why. Is it her blood sugar? Later I explain why. There's another one that because of blood sugar way up in the brain, it's all clogged up. So that is the early sign. You need to basically get doctor basically help you out to identify what is the real issue already. And you really have to have, all that, keep working with this individual, because this is not going to go away. It's just going to get worse. And it might take 2 or 3 years to get even worse. So you got to stop that at 2 to 3 years then, okay? So you don't get them to be take care of them, get the treatment 2 to 3 years later, because it will even get worse, it will never get reversed. So you want to stop at that time, okay? And then suddenly, whatever they have is pretty much forgot, and they cannot do things on their own, all that. So that can be gradually become more and more serious. That's why I thought that today's webinar will help you to better understand what that is, and hopefully with that you can able to stop at that time. Okay， 嗱，各位朋友，因為咧喺呢個所謂叫做腦退化呢個病咧，其實有一個好重點咧，就係第一，首先係唔記得咗個記憶，短期記憶、長期記憶全部開始唔記得。你會聽到好多婆婆問：食咗飯未啊，仔？去咗街未啊？幾月翻嚟啊？問咗10幾廿次。嗱，你要好耐心咧，話俾你做咗啦，做咗啦。咁其實佢哋你就會覺得哇好煩嘅，成日問咗咁多次。咁問題咧，佢問咗佢真係唔記得，佢自己係唔記得嘅。咁呢樣係第一樣嘢，同埋佢講嘅嘢亦都好多時咧唔記得講咗乜嘢，同埋咧佢亦都冇一個好嘅已經記憶啦，同埋去 resolve 任何嘅 problem 啦，同埋咧仲有冇任何嘅注意力啦，注意力會失咗去啦，同埋咧亦都唔記得，就係最弊咧有迷失路啊！好多人落咗街之後唔識翻屋企，呢個就成日好多啲人有呢樣嘢嘅，所以變咗嚟講咧，喺呢啲咁嘅人嘅裏邊嘅時候咧，你一定要幫助佢哋，同埋咧快出去睇醫生，唔好等2、3年後去睇醫生，唔好等2、3月後先睇醫生。呢個係要即刻要睇醫生，同埋知道佢嘅情況係點，同埋要開始控制。控制嘅時候咧，希望控制咗之後佢唔會繼續着壞。如果你控制冇講咧，3年後咧翻唔到轉頭，全部翻唔到轉頭。所以呢個係好重要嘅。Okay, so now we know the sign and symptom dementia. What you want to do is you want to have real good control. Don't get them to get worse, because when you get worse, you cannot return back to the normal. So that is one of the things that I want to stress today. So get treatment or get doctor notice real fast, so we can able to start understand what can we do. Okay, so besides the sign and symptom like memory loss, there's also some other sign start coming along. One is they will get twitching. Hands start twitching, finger, especially one arm, start twitching. Twitching a tremor are one of the also early signs of dementia. And also the writing is very, very difficult to read. And the writing becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, okay? And on top of that, some of them even cannot remember taste and smell of food. And their sleep will be also disrupted. So they will wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, walking around the house, okay? And so they will have really say, how come you can't sleep, And the husband and wife will be waking up in the morning. And I have seen both do that when people have dementia. The wife will wake up, the husband woke up, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, they can't sleep. And those are good early signs of that. On top of that, their posture, they will start lumping like this. They no longer walk straight. They will all lump like this. Those are early signs. And then also, as you know, when you walk, your arm will start swinging, right? The arm don't swing anymore. And they might only swing one arm even. So these are all the early signs of dementia, which you need to watch. And this is a really good indicator saying, wow, hey man, this guy is going to dementia. And you really have to be be careful, and this is really good, right？ 嗱，記住，因為咧，記住啦，係如果你係有呢個早嘅症狀腦退化症咧，第一你會手係會 twitching 嘅，即係咁嘅時候要個，多數一隻手先嘅，一隻手，有陣時咧就喐下喐下咁，或者係咁喐一隻手 ，OK。咁第二樣嘢咧，你寫字咧越寫越細，同埋好難睇，人哋睇唔到啲字啊，因為你好多時寫好難睇，唔記得咗。第三，仲有文啊，你個文咧係越整越差，咁你唔記得食物啊，直可能唔記得食物，咁你食飯亦都冇乜興趣開始。同埋仲有一樣嘢，好多呢啲咧開始嘅時候咧，瞓覺都瞓唔到嘅，瞓2、3鐘起起身，坐喺個廳嗰度要睇電視啊或者啦咁所以咧越整咧係唔會記得啲嘢。第四，仲有行路嘅時候咧，唔係直嘅嚟咁都攣咗出嚟嘅去行路。咁呢個係一個好多時見到嘅老人家係變咗咁嘅。第五咧仲有咧就係行嘅時候咧，嗱我都係行路咧就會有隻手上喺邊啊。當有呢個 early sign 嘅腦退化症嘅時候咧，你隻手唔會喐嘅，你好硬嘅，或者係喐一隻手嘅啫。所以呢啲嘢全部係咧係一個腦退化症開始嘅新現象。如果你有任何啲現象咧，你快去揾你啲醫生去睇，你係咪有問題？呢個係一個好好嘅重要嘅初期嘅症狀。Okay? So when you see all that issue with twitching, your handwriting getting bad, you can't sleep, and your arm don't swing anymore. You saw it. Most likely you were not able to do that yourself. Most likely your friend will start telling you. If you see your friend, your husband, your children seeing like that, you better start getting some medical attention. Okay. Now, and typically, then when you go now, you go say, okay, I got this problem, and the doctor is not going to see the diagnosis of dementia, how to determine. And so there are several tests that will start doing that for you, okay? So usually the doctor will perform a memory test, attention, getting some problem solving, getting you to see whether you get thinking ability. And also the doctor will do some physical examination, but most likely also the doctor will do a blood test and then CT brain scan, MRI. Those are the kind of tests that we'll be going for. The reason is because they want to find out your brain dementia is not caused by why there's MRI, CT scan, because it might be a tumor that caused that, blocking your brain. And also could be, wow, your blood sugar is way high. Well, that might be the case of your dementia, okay? So they definitely would want to test all that. Is not only blood sugar, but they can be all kind of things. Now, a lot of people get dementia also because of tumor. And I saw that many times. Coming with a brain tumor, could be a cancer, could be a benign tumor. Both are compressed the blood circulation. All that will cause potentially tumor, potential dementia because of the pressing of the blood cannot go to the brain. So I see that many times. So that is not just only blood sugar is the major issue, could be other issues. That's the reason why there will be CT brain scan, MRI, all those are there, okay? And it's good to actually do it because at least you need to find out why you have dementia, okay? Now, dementia 嘅症狀咧，依家你見到你嘅手唔喐啦，有好多症狀出現啦，咁你就去睇醫生啦。咁醫生咧多數要做啲咩咧？第一要睇你個 test 你 memory 啦，記唔記得嘢啦？有冇咁嘅真係嘅注意力做唔做到啦？解唔解決到問題啦？佢有啲 test 咧係俾你睇到原來真係注意力唔得，知道你真係有 dementia。咁同埋咧，仲有咧，佢有個真係做個 physical exam 啦，又要照你嘅睇你血檢驗啦，驗血啦，同埋要或者做個 CT 嘅腦掃描啦，或者 MRI 嘅掃描啦，咁先知道。因為好多時咧唔係淨係血糖嘅問題，好多時就係因為腫瘤嘅問題。腫瘤係可能因為啱啱個腫瘤咧係生咗喺嗰笪地方咧，係令到你咧係唔會啲血去唔到嗰度咧，咁你真係有同樣嘅問題咧，記唔到嘢嘅。咁所以呢個咧，所有呢啲東西咧都係會determine 你嘅症狀嘅dementia 咩。So seeing the doctor, getting those identification, actually it is important. Now, what is dementia risk with you old age? Now, if you are age 65 or higher, your risk is much higher because I think many of us are in that group, by the way. So if you are dementia, or rather, if your family have history of dementia, then most likely yourself and your sibling also have potential dementia because that is genetic link, by the way. And also a lot of the African American has dementia. They're 2 times more. And Mexican has about 1.5 more. I mean, not Mexican, but Hispanic people have 1.5 more. Plus, even more people if they have diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and if they smoke, or if they had previously had a head injury, which is a severe head injury, so that dementia can be also potentially high. So the risk of people with dementia are the people who have 65 over, family history, if they are, African American or Hispanic. I think the more people I also saw is poor health, diabetes, and I'll explain why later on, and head injury. OK， 嗱，各位同學，其實咧，如果你係腦退化嘅風險咧，其實咧係好多人咧係因為佢65歲以上啦，腦退化。咁仲有咧，佢好多係佢自己屋企人有嘅咧，咁可能有遺傳咧，你都會有。尤其是你個爸爸有啦，如果你媽咪有咧，咁 most 你都有，或者啲仔都有嘅。咁仲有咧，最見得多咧就係呢個咧有糖尿病病者腦退化症係好鬼高嘅。尤其是咧，即係佢一陣間我繼續解釋點解咁高咧。咁同埋有好多係有高血壓啊、高膽固醇啊，同埋食煙啊。咁呢個咧亦都會有好多有嘅。咁同埋如果有撞過腦啊或者車禍啊，嗰啲咧亦都係一個高危嘅腦退化症嘅人咧，係會更加多高呢個風險嘅。So why diabetes has a high dementia? I know our group, all majority of us are pre-diabetic, diabetes, including myself, pre-diabetic. I was almost diabetes, so now I have to watch. One of the biggest common diabetes is called vascular dementia. Okay, let me explain what is that vascular dementia. Vascular dementia is your brain are damaged caused because the blood going to the brain are blocked due to a lot of sugar. And blood flow was poor because the sugar and the cholesterol start forming a lot of plaque on the brain. So net result, your brain has very limited blood circulation to the area. So many of the brain cells actually are being damaged. And that's why a lot of the people now call type 3 diabetic Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. And that is the reason. And really, that is very common. I think one of the lecture I explained, when you have that problem, because as you know, if you have diabetes, your brain, or the blood vessels are blocked. And so net result, many places of brains, the oxygen, food, and so forth are not really get there, and the nutrition is not get there. So your brain are continue to suffering with lack of good nutrition. So net result, your brain will start getting to get damaged, and eventually you will develop Alzheimer and vascular dementia, and that is the cause. That's the reason why my friend, which I felt very sad, her blood sugar, although being now controlled, not real well controlled, but at least better than before. Before it's 10 and above A1C. Now dropped down to 7 something, but it's too late because she has so many years lost control. Even though now blood sugars are better, but the brain already damaged, it can't get back, can't reverse. So I really urge everyone, do not get to that stage. In early stage, since you have that opportunity now, get yourself back to the A1C low now, instead of 5, 6 years from now and say, oh, I'm going to get my lowest A1C low. But guess what? Your brain already damaged. Once you damage, can't get back, my friend. So do not get into this stage, okay? That's why I want to give you guys this webinar. At least you have now aware. 嗱，各位堂友，個大問題咧就血管性嘅dementia 咧，呢個係一個好常見嘅問題 for 糖尿病病者。個原因咧就係個腦嘅血管，因為咧你係糖尿病，所以嘅血脂同埋啲血糖加埋晒一齊咧，就 form 咗好多 plaque 好多血塊喺啲微絲血管度。咁咧就幫佢咧一路喺個腦嗰度咧塞，一路係咁塞下咧，弊家伙啦，塞到個腦咧就開始損壞。咁損壞咗之後咧，嗰啲血就去唔到嗰度啦，又冇營養啦，咁就腦咧就開始越整越壞咧，弊啦。因為個腦越整越壞嘅時候咧，就開始唔記得嘢，唔記得嘢就會開始腦真係退化症啦。咁好多人咧，其實依家咧點解會係第三個叫做 Type 3 diabetes 第三種嘅？第唔係2型啦，3型嘅糖尿病咧就係 Alzheimer disease 或者係 Vascular Dementia， 即係話變咗佢係即係血液血管令到個腦咧係退化嘅，大腦會退化嘅，咁就變咗真係好慘啦。咁點解我其實咧講咁多咧？前幾排就話點解我呢個病人會個老婆唔記得咗個先生咧？70幾歲，個原因就係其實佢可能5、6年前咧仲可以救得翻，但係依家5、6年後，就算個糖咧又好咗啊，但係都唔係好多，但係都好咗近好多啦。因為前期塞得咁多咧，依家救唔翻，所以變咗我哋希望咧，你唔好令到自己會變咗咁 ，OK？ 呢個係一個好重要問題，所以記住，即係希望你嘅糖如果要控制咧，就一定依家控制，唔係5、6年後至控制，5、6年冇用噶啦。如果損壞咗腦之後 ，OK？ So I hope everybody understand. You control your blood sugar. You control now, not few years later, and not to get yourself all the brain blocked before you can control. Okay? So that's the important message. So how can we decrease this give you some 5 tips to decrease the dementia risk? That's what we'll try to give you the tips now. The first thing, you have to truly change your lifestyle. And then you can able to really give your brain a good health, okay? Healthy diet, you can prevent diabetes, lower your blood sugar, but at the same time, you also lower your heart disease and cancer, everything. So it's really good if you can lower your blood sugar. You lower your blood sugar, will also lower your heart disease. And also you have, because you lower fat, enough fat, so you will be actually even having lower risk of cancer. So you kill all 3 problems with 1 stone, very good. So eating healthy now is important. Now, certainly what is a healthy diet? So Mediterranean diet will be very good. It really helps to prevent upcoming, cognitive impairment, meaning, damage of brain. Diet including like good fruits, good vegetable, a lot of nuts, omega-3, low saturated fat, not a lot of red meat, a lot of fish. So all those are the things that we taught you before. And good dieting will help you for everything that you can be. Good diet, you lower your weight. Wow, that's really cool. So in order to give you good brain food, you really have to have good nutritional diet, which I just mentioned about. 嗱，各位朋友，其實好重要咧，要食好健康嘅食物，先能夠令到腦咧係會健康嘅。但係呢樣嘢好正喎，點解正咧？就係因為咧咁做咗之後咧，你連心臟病都冇埋 ，cancer 少咗 ，chance 少咗，因為你唔會肥胖嘅時候咧 ，cancer 嘅機會係低嘅 ，OK？ 心臟病嘅機會亦都低，因為你冇 cholesterol 啲東西啦，我當太糖啦。嗱，降低咗糖咧，你個糖尿病亦都唔會去得差喎，咁亦都冇影響到腦喎。哇，幾好啊！即係真係 一嘅石可以擺晒你咁多嘅東西咧，能夠防禦到幾正啊！咁當然啦，地中海食物嘅餐單咧係好正嘅，因為呢餐單咧係令到你腦咧唔會咁容易損壞啦。咁呢個餐係咩咧？更多生果食蔬菜啊，食多啲魚啊，食多啲 nuts 啊，即係腰果啊嘅東西啦。用 olive oil 唔係用其他嘅牛油啊嘅東西啦。咁啊，同埋咧仲有多個 omega 3啊，依咁嘅嘢又可以能夠幫助你更加好嘅antioxidant 啊，呢啲係全部好嘢嚟嘅。即係我近時教嗰啲係一樣好嘢，所以記住咧，食嘅嘢係最多係食多啲菜，要食多啲魚，唔好食咁多紅肉，亦都可以食多啲 nuts 啊嗰啲東西，唔好食咁多即係飯啊、白粉啊。嗰啲唔好食咁多啦，嗰啲要食少，食紅米啊，或者食 brown rice 啊啲啊，食多啲纖維嘅東西，全部好嘢。所以你改變咗呢樣嘢咧，呢啲嘢全部 good 嘅。So really at the end of the day, if you can do a more Mediterranean diet with more fish, low red meat, lower your weight, wow, you can actually have all the your health improve, all the stuff that we talk about in a sense of brain issue. You might not even have it. Okay, so that's number one. Secondly, you really have to continue exercise. You have to keep moving. Now, you say, oh, I don't have time to. I don't know. No, you can make time. Okay, so the studies show that if you do exercise regularly, not once per month, you do it 5 times a week and 10,000 steps you can. Actually, if you walk a lot, you actually become better. Your brain will function better. And you should have at least 150 minutes per week of exercise. Okay, so it's not that hard. You can talk about evening walking around the neighborhood, go to a park, go to Alamana Shopping Center to walk one hour. That's wonderful. It's beautiful. You don't have to buy anything, just walk around and see people. It's wonderful. You can do biking, you can go dancing, you can jogging, doesn't matter. But best at our age, walk will be good. 10,000 steps. That's all we ask. But the thing is, you have to continue exercise and set a goal, write it down. And last week, I give you a sheet with your blood sugar tracking, your weight, and then your your exercise, how many steps. So you it's just write it down. It's simple. You track it, and it give you always every day give you that motivation because right now, wow, I'm 200 pounds. Tomorrow, wow, 190 pounds, 199. And tomorrow, 198. Wow, that is really giving you motivation. Continue to do it to lower your weight. So keep doing that, okay? So regular exercise is important. 成日運動係好重要嘅。點解咧？如果你一個禮拜做150分鐘嘅運動咧，你個腦其實係好好嘅，能夠令到咧你個腦咧繼續係喐，繼續運動。咁你個人咧就唔會唔記得嘢啦，同埋你去出去 shopping mall 啊，行下又睇下嘢啊，咁其實咧好多 stimulation 咧，令到你腦係更加理想嘅。咁變咗咧 ，excuse me， 你可能夠咧繼續係能夠exercise 你個腦可能㗎，因為有 stimulation 啊嘛。咁第二樣嘢咧要行啦，行最好有150分鐘，行一個禮拜。divide 幾多日，即係半個鐘頭一日一路行，咁變咗嚟講咧，你5日咧係一定行唔到嘅。咁同埋咧，你可以能夠，如果你又唔得行咧，你咪做跳舞都得㗎。其實可以踩單車又得嘅，咩嘢都得，最緊要喐，最緊要喐嚇。咁同埋咧，呢個咧係要繼續喐，就唔好話我做一個禮拜，下個禮拜唔做啦，唔得嘅。係 every other day 最緊要，少咗一日都唔好。就如果一禮拜做4日 exercise。Very good， 你一定會令到更加好。同埋最高咧，食完飯最緊，唔係食飯前啦，食完飯後，咁能夠 burn up 晒啲 extra 嘅 sugar 啊嗰啲東西。OK，so remember when you exercise, make sure you exercise after you eat, like after dinner. Don't do it before dinner because that will actually boost up your sugar because you don't have enough sugar. Body will burn out sugar. So after dinner, you go exercise, actually will further decrease your blood sugar, okay? So make sure to do that. Okay, the third one. Now, if you're drinking, smoking, now you have to really quit that, because what happened is smoking actually increased dementia. The reason why stop smoking is so important, because smoking actually hamper your O2 exchange. That result, your brain doesn't get all nutrition. Actually, later on, you will also have a lot of memory loss in the later life. So smoking is proven actually will actually increase the risk of dementia. So you have smoke, cut that off. And on top of that, when you're smoking, it damages your blood vessels, restrict your blood flow to the right brain, and also oxygen exchange your lung. So you have less oxygen. And on top of that, if you are smoking, you have diabetes, or even worse. So your vascular dementia will even more severe. So smoking, you got to quit. Now, if you said I'm drinking, okay, small amount of beer, red wine is okay, but not a lot. Small, occasionally is good. But if excessive drinking, like for example, I drink every night a whiskey, that is going to cause you also potential dementia. So these are the things that you really have to cut down, my friend, because smoking and drinking both actually will hamper and really hurt you down the road on dementia. So if you don't smoke, the chance of dementia is much more substantially decreased. 嗱，我喺同第三個咧，如果你食煙嘅，咁真係要戒煙啦。點解咧？如果你唔戒煙嘅話咧，你食煙咧，第一食咗煙之後咧，係將你個氧氣咧入去身體裏邊係全部係減低咗。第二，亦都 tighten 咗你嘅血管，唔俾啲血液咧上腦度，咁腦咧就會冇咁多即係營養品啦，咁佢又會損壞啦，咁個 chance of 呢個叫做 Vascular Dementia 咧，即係血管嘅腦退化症咧係高好多嘅。咁同埋咧，仲有咧，如果你飲烈酒威士忌有講啊，唔係話紅酒啊，你亦都係會損壞呢個腦嘅細胞。咁變咗嚟講咧，幾樣嘢，如果食煙、飲酒、烈酒係唔正仔嘅。但係如果你話 occasionally 普通我飲一半杯嘅酒，同埋咧飲少紅酒得唔得咧？得，但唔好太過分。呢個係一個好重要嘅降低你個呢個腦退化症嘅風險。Now the fourth one is so important. You have to continue to stay socialized, because we found that if you are socialized, isolated, you are deprived from people talking to you. When you're older, you actually get more chances to get depression, anxiety. You basically lost touch of the world. You get loneliness because you don't talk to people. Your speech becomes deteriorated. You will have continued connective impairment. In other words, you can't think anymore because you don't associate nobody. And I found that so important. If you have children, get the children talk to you, find out what they are. You can ask them questions. How are you doing, son? What you been doing? Tell me about your job. At least when they talk to each other, you will have association. So very important is gotta maintain this social network, i.e. go to church, go to choir, go to a singing choir with the church. It's okay. Talk to people in church, talk to people at dance club, talk to people at social club. The key here is you want to prevent any cognitive decline and maintain the social contact, give you social support, improve your mood, and also better overall health because you have someone to talk to. You have difficulties, you talk to people, oh, I have this problem, can you help me? Or you can share with them the problem. At least they get people say, I think I know this, I can help you with that. All that is so important when you get old. A lot of time, I notice a lot of old folks say, I don't want to bother people, so I don't want to ask them. Hey, that's the wrong approach. It's not bothering. You just basically want to share your issue and hope people will talk to you and follow with you. especially your children. Sometimes they say, I don't want to bother my kid, But I say, hey, involve your kid because your kid is your kid and they will love you, whatever. So talk to them. If you don't talk to them, they think that everything is okay with you. So that's not good. So do share the problem with them, talk to them, and ask them how are they doing. You don't have to share with their problem. That's okay. Ask them what is their problem they have or what is their happiness they have. Involve them. And that will help you to at least say, I know what they're doing now. I know what they have. And you feel happier because you are involving with the kids or your relative, not necessarily kid. You don't have kids, no problem. Involve your relative, my sister, my cousin, whoever. Talk to each other and get engaged. The important is continue engagement. The problem, I saw a lot of elderly, as they get older, they stop engagement. They don't talk to nobody. And they will at their own stop and themselves watching mainly TV whole day long. That will be the worst thing you do. Now, I have a Hawaii friend who's one of my classmates. I brought something for them to bring to the house. And I noticed in the house, as a path going to that, one is going to the path to the sitting room of the dining table. One to the path is a couch watching the TV. Rest of them are all books here and there, piles of junks. Wow, I felt really sad for this person because this person is an elderly person, whole day long, they just watch TV. They don't talk to nobody. And then they go walk to this dining table just to eat. And the foods are being prepared by somebody brought over. But sad because they have no one to talk to. So importantly, especially now that telephone, make sure you talk to your friends on the telephone, especially if there's cell phone with like video call, teach them how to do a video call, talk to each other video call, just like you talk to each other right in front of you. That will be so important because that will help you to engage. Nowadays, the game of the day is engagement. Talk to them in video, not even a regular phone. Talk to them, see them, and they see you. And then if you see each other, you say, I know you're okay. And then maybe you can also see a change of face. Then you can able to understand, wow, you lost about, look like 50 pounds. Are you having a problem? Because I can tell you another story. One of my friends, which I haven't talked about a long time ago, and I saw them, and he lost maybe about 30 pounds, maybe 20 or 30 pounds, but he looked different. So I start questioning, I said, hey, are you really okay? Because you look like you lost a lot of weight. He said, yeah, I'm not eating that well. So I said, maybe you should go see a doctor. And guess what? Through the questioning, we found each other that I said, you got to go see doctor, finally see a doctor. You know what? He has cancer. And basically with that, you right away got the doctor treating him and so forth. So the cancer, although it started in the early stage, but he's still a lot of weight, but he was already stage 3 cancer. And now on chemotherapy, all that stuff, at least he will probably have a lot more chances to survive, live longer. But if we didn't point that out, you know what? He could have just got worse and died. Oh, that would be terrible, isn't it? So really involved, stay with that socialization. 各位，保持社會嘅活動咧係好重要嘅，因為咧其實咧最弊咧就自己企喺屋企坐喺度唔喐，所以其實好重要咧就要唔好俾你自己全部唔同人傾偈，要去禮拜堂啦，見下禮拜堂嘅朋友啦，或者你嘅 dance club 舞跳舞嘅朋友，或者係任何嘅社會交際嘅朋友，繼續去見，同埋咧繼續係大家去傾偈。因為如果唔係嘅話咧，或者你就係親戚朋友仔女都要繼續傾偈。尤其現在咁多電話係可能夠叫做無線電話，可以見埋視像嘅，呢個先重要。嗱，講句真實過去俾你聽，我有朋友咧，咁好耐時都未見過佢好一段時間，咁我就覺得哇，點解忽然間你要似乎瘦咗咁多磅咧？咁問下之後咧，原來知道咧，我話你快啲睇醫生喎，你見唔見得20磅以上㗎咯喎？咁佢睇之後咧，原來佢真係有 cancer。咁 cancer 已經係 stage 3㗎啦，其實呢個就咁，但係好彩佢見咗之後咧，佢最後依家即刻醫，咁依家醫咗咧就好咗好多嘅，咁最低限度醫咗控制咗佢啦，咁可能咧即係佢生活咧到最低限度可能夠住多5、6、7、10年都唔出奇嘅， 咁但係如果唔做呢樣嘢，弊家伙啦，你就係 basically 就係 end game 係咪？因為你會繼續落落去，你唔 engage 啊嘛。咁就係腦退化亦都會繼續加速嘅。OK， 所以繼續咧係 stay engaged 係好重要。OK，so really important. Really gotta continue stay socialized, even though you're old. Do not think that you are bothering people. You are not bothering people. Keep engaging your children, your relatives, find out how they are. Think about the way how they approach it. Hey, how you doing? You know, we really miss you. Haven't seen you for a long time. Just want to tell me how you doing. Ask them how they doing. They in turn, they will say, how you doing? So you can tell them how you doing. So that way, once you start engaging, you have continued engaging and tell them that, hey, you know what? Maybe every week I can give you a call just to check each other out. Is it okay with you? They say, yeah, sure. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes, but that is so important. So try that. Make sure you got to keep that up with all your friends. Now, one of my friends also said, I don't remember all the number, but tell the children, punch all the number to your phone, and you just press the button with a picture of the person, and then start engaging. That will be also another way. 好多朋友話：我連電話都唔記得咗，點算啊？唔緊要，叫細佬哥或者親戚朋友寫晒幾個最重要電話喺度，你撳個掣入去睇就得㗎啦。咁依家好多朋友做一樣咧，唔係用電話，係用電話就係用 WhatsApp 電話嚟做，咁啊更加好啦。佢記得咗 WhatsApp 就搞掂。So the fifth one is important. You really have to continue to lower your blood sugar and maintain better blood sugar level. And imagine your A1C has to be lower than 6.4, and hope that you can get down to 5.7. Because you get 5.7, the chances the blood get restricted oxygen to the vessel, getting your vascular dementia a substantial decrease. So make sure your blood sugar A1C is between 6.4 and 5.7. Even better if you get 5.7. And certainly we have talked about 5 programs to help you with dieting. You know, keep up with the Mediterranean diet, low carb diet, and so forth. You can help you, and drink Lowsutea will help. So you have the low carb and drink Lowsutea, and you have to really get to yourself to lower blood sugar by regular exercise, 150 minutes per week of exercise important. You have to lower your weight, and your BMI has to be 23 BMI. Measure blood sugar 4 times a day if you can. Is actually important once in the morning, and then 3 times after 2 hours after dinner. So you know exactly how it is. And certainly attend a webinar. And remember, you have to actually have all the better food. But a lot of people said, do I need to have all sort of vitamin? Now, WHO said you don't need to have all type of vitamin if you have a balanced diet. Actually, just the vitamin itself does not necessarily help. But certainly, if you have to take a 1-day multivitamin, that's fine. But don't have to be all sort of vitamin. I have a friend who came in and asked me, wow, he had about 10 different vitamins. I said, well, take a 1-day multivitamin, that's sufficient just to catch all, but not to have 10 different vitamins. That would be too much. So keep in mind, the most important is lower your blood sugar, maintain better health is the key to decrease your possible chances to get dementia. Number 5 points, okay? So 各位朋友記住，我哋 A1C 咧係 6.4 以下，最好就 5.7 啦。當你係喺 5.7 裏邊咧，或者 6.4 以下咧，你 chance 去你個腦變咗呢個叫 Vascular Dementia， 即係血管硬化嘅腦退化症係低好多嘅。咁當然咧，我哋依家有5個 program，right？ 飲退糖茶啦，有個低嘅碳水化食物嘅東西啦，同埋運動啦，同埋仲有咧減你嘅磅數啦，要減咩啊？低過23嘅 BMI 啦，同埋咧仲有繼續係度你嘅血糖咧，你唔度血糖你都唔知係乜嘅。咁每日度4次，第一次就係朝頭早啦，然後每次食完飯2個鐘頭度啦。咁然後咧仲有聽我哋依家講即係我哋 webinar 嘅書啦。咁同埋咧，其實係咪食好多維他命會幫助咧？未必係嘅。其實你食一粒叫 multivitamin 已經好 OK 嘅，有陣時即係 catch all 啦，係咪？ 但係我如果食個好 balance diet， chances of 你係好即係將你個糖即係上食下降得好低咧，都唔會係咁高嘅。咁呢個咧就係我哋所建議嘅現在嘅情況。咁希望咧呢5個方案咧就可能夠幫助你咧係降低你嘅腦退化。So in conclusion, as you know, dementia really have no treatment. You don't want to get yourself, actually they have stages 1 to 7. So early 1 to 3 stage, you can actually see yourself like loss of short memory, can I find a word? You keep asking 17 times, your question. Those are the early signs, and you can start seeing your hands start twitching one side. You don't straighten your arm anymore. You become very stiff. You hump. Those are all early signs. So you gotta basically want to stop that. By stopping that, you're gonna have healthy diet, and so it will give you brain health, continue to be good brain health. You have to continue exercise, meaning 150 minutes per day, every week you have 150-minute exercise. Walking will be good, and you gotta cut out your smoking and drinking heavy whiskey and all good stuff. Just cut that out. And then you have, the more important is stay socialized. Talk to your friend, talk to your children, talk to the church people, talk to your social club, dance club, doesn't matter. Get everything. Write down your phone, call them often, and they call you back often so you can continue to engage. That is so important. There's no bother them at all. You can continue to engage. That will always be good. And certainly you have to have low blood sugar, maintain blood sugar level with a 5 program. It's dieting, drink Lowsutea, exercise, track your blood, listen to a webinar. All those will help you to prevent the dementia disease. Now, next week, we will talk a little bit more about Alzheimer's disease. So we hope that you get further understanding. But dementia is an early sign of that. So we really want to cut that off to not to get down to stage 4, 5, 6. That's too late because you can't remember your husband at that time. You can't reverse. So I hope you don't get your situation like that, or you can't remember your children. That would be absolutely very sad. And that's why I purposely did this webinar, because I thought that, wow, my friend cannot remember husband or future, even have husband cannot remember wife. That would be very sad, man. 40 years marriage, cannot remember each other. So I hope that, I won't get, I hope all of us will not have that situation. Now, I have some very good questions. One question is actually from Eugene asking, besides vegetarian diet, do we recommend other dieting? What consider a small, let's see, hold on, let me ask. It said, what is considered a small quantity of wine or beer? Okay, first of all, a Mediterranean diet is just a common dieting, but you don't have to be necessarily follow just a way of easy to follow. The key is follow low carb diet. So your carbs should be about 150 milligrams per day. If you have no more than 200 milligrams, 200 grams of carb will be good. So the key is lots of vegetable. As I mentioned, the vegetable is half of that is all non-starchy vegetable like salad. You can have tomato with lettuce and stuff like that, cucumber, all the stuff in there. Those are good stuff, but very little dressing. Use vinegar, it will be good. Instead of a thick dressing like 1,000 items, forget about 1,000 items, because those are high carbs. So that, and 1/4 is all your meat. Meat will be good with a lot of fish instead of a lean chicken. Could be lean meat. So those are very good. And then you take your beans and a little bit of rice, but you got red rice or brown rice. Those are good stuff. So those, not necessarily just called Mediterranean diet, but that will be a good way. Always plan that way. And the nuts can be all your snack nuts. And we will have one lecture, I will talk about nuts or what kind of snack. But when you have diet at nighttime, I really want to eat something, no problem. Get some celery, get some cucumber, get some zucchini, cut it in half and chew on that. That is just as good. And a lot of times that I found that When I chew on that, I eat about 3, 4, 10, no more than 10 almond nuts. That's all satisfied. So those are the good, not necessarily just Mediterranean diet. It's a good way to come. That type of diet will be highly effective to help you guys out. 各位同學，其實咧未必係可以咧係即係食一啲叫做地中海食物嘅。其實最重要咧係食蔬菜啦，一半係蔬菜，其實全部唔係有好多 starch， 所謂好似 corn 啊、B 綠豆啊、粟米嗰啲唔好食，但係全部生菜啊嗰啲 OK。4分1咧係食瘦肉、瘦雞、瘦魚 ，very good。同埋咧其他嗰4分1咧就係食啲豆啊即係beans 啊、紅豆啊，或者食紅米啊，或者係嗰啲 brown rice 啊，咁嗰啲係有好多纖維咧，係好對你好嘅。咁就呢個咧就唔使一定話叫 Mediterranean diet， 但係呢個係最重要。咁如果肚餓要睇緊電視食啲 nuts 啊、almond 啊係 very good 嘅，即係杏仁啦，5、6粒 OK 㗎。咁同埋咧就剪咗一段好細嘅西芹啦、紹西芹啦，好正，亦都或者係 cucumber OK， 或者係個 zucchini 亦都 good 嘅。呢可以生食就得，咁呢個咧就會 satisfy 晒你所有嘅肚餓嘅東西，唔會食個餅啦，唔會食個 chips 啦，咁就 OK 啦。咁呢啲就係一個好幫助。咁如果飲酒飲幾多咧？一杯半杯冇問題，但係就唔好成日飲好大杯 ，OK？ So what is a small quantity? I would say is like half glass of beer is okay, occasionally, not every day, not 4 cup or not flat glass. Wine, half cup of wine is okay, but not a lot. If you drink half a bottle, you are in trouble because I've few actually customer drink half a bottle of wine, the blood sugar show up all over, 180, 190 the whole night. So that's not good for you. So do remember, wine even doesn't look sweet, but they make up great. So they will give you the same result. Okay. So half a glass during dinner time, that's fine. Small amount, not all the time, occasion. Okay. So hope that will answer your question, Eugene. Why do you recommend blood tests 4 times a day? Now, the reason why blood tests 4 times a day is 1, if you poke your finger in the morning, first thing in the morning, so you know how's your blood sugar whole day, last night to present, what is the blood sugar? A lot of people, when they wake up, the blood sugar is always very high. That could be because the blood sugar is not very well controlled, right? So you need to really start off with understand where your baseline is, where you start off. Maybe your blood sugar when you start off is already 180, 190. That's mean you really need to do more work at nighttime, the whole night. So at least you can understand what is your baseline in the day. Why 2 hours after each meal, the first to measure? Because if you're 2 hours after each meal, your blood sugar is still way up there, like 180, 220. That means you really need to do more. Either your diet has to control, or you have to drink more Lowsutea to bring it down fast. Because your whole day after your 2 hours beyond or 3 hours is still the same, then you are not controlling your sugar. That could be reason is because your diet is not proper. You're not doing low fat and you are not doing low carb diet. Or your body have not enough insulin to lower your blood sugar, or you are not well controlling your blood sugar. You are way, way high. So you really need to figure it out. That's why every time you do is 2 hours after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. So you get an idea what are you doing. That's why 4 times a day to test your blood sugar. If I don't have all the time, well, if not, at least do dinner time and maybe lunchtime, at least understand where you're at. So you have an idea in 2 hours after what I ate, what is my blood sugars. So at least you get some idea. But if you don't measure, you will not know what's going on. 個問題點解我哋要一日篤4次手指咧去驗糖咧？第一，朝頭早起身要篤一次，個原因就係知道咧我呢個 baseline 嘅糖係幾多。第二，2個鐘頭食完嘢咧，去 去督嘅時候，我就知道食早餐係點樣。如果你食完晏晝早餐2個鐘頭、3個鐘頭，你嘅糖都係好高嘅，譬如我嘅糖依家都係10、13咧，即係話你嘅食物係可能都唔係一個好嘅碳水化合物食物，即係唔係一個 low carb diet。第二，可能你真係唔夠胰島素控制，可能好多問題，所以你一定要知道你嘅糖喺邊度，或者要真係飲好多去糖茶幫助你降低，或者你藥唔夠。好多啲原因你都要理解。如果你繼續係高嘅話，咁我都知道，哇！原來我真係唔掂喎。OK， 咁我要做嘢喎，或者我食嘅嘢唔可以食好甜嘅東西喎，我哋食嘅嘢未必一定係碳水化合物。所以4節係好重要嘅。咁你話讀唔到4節，可唔可以讀3次啊？得，第一次食完早餐，第二晏晝2個鐘頭後嘅晏晝或者晚黑。咁最低限度咧，我有了解咧，全部2個鐘頭後啊，唔係1個鐘頭。咁我最緊要知道我走勢點樣。如果你冇樣度到咧，即係你唔知走勢，咁你唔知點去控制嘅。OK， so I hope that answer your question. Why do you need a blood measure after why 4 times a day? Now, is there a memory supplement? Now, the issue is they were talking about sort of in the a lot of advertisement. Oh, you eat this, you have memory supplement. But the really interesting is the World Health Organization. They were saying that memory supplements are not usually proven to be workable. So certainly, some people say you can eat ginkgo and all that. Yes, but on the other hand, there really no so-called scientific proven you eating this supplement can actually help, but only give you psychologically help. So that's the reason why they said, don't get fooled by eating a lot of supplement or vitamin can help you memory. But more important is the things you do, like social, keeping, stay social active, lower your blood sugar. That is definitely will help you because of the fact that it will not create blockage on your brain. So I hope that will help you answer. 希望各位朋友咧就唔好多時咧有啲食有啲即係vitamin啊，話我食咗之後咧就會幫你咧係能夠令到你個記憶更加好啲嘅。當然咧 WHO 就話其實多數咧呢啲都冇一樣嘢咧係真係有好嘅 proof 係真係令到你咧食咗呢個維他命咧會令到你嗰個記憶更加好嘅。咁呢個要小心。咁但係一定係好嘅話咧，就係 stay social active 繼續同朋友去傾偈啊，做多啲講嘢啊。咁呢個一定係 stimulate 咗你自己係一定好嘅。第二，降低個血糖，能夠令到你個糖咧唔會塞咗腦啊，呢個一定係啱嘅。咁但係咧食即係 memory 嘅 supplement 咧，有可能就係呢個 psychological 嘅 effect 嘅啫。有啲人話食咗驚熬會好啲啊，哇 maybe。但係就冇咩 proof 嘅，咁呢個就 up to 你啦。有啲即係好多時話食呢啲會好啊，對但係就冇一個即係 scientific proof 啊。但係一定係咧，就如果係最好就即係social engage 啦，咁就幫助你啦，咁就好啲嘅。OK， 咁I hope I answer all your guys' question. I'm very happy you guys do ask a lot of good questions. Thanks Edwina, Eugene always ask very good questions. I hope today give you an understanding what is dementia all about. I tell you, there's a lot of people with dementia, even among my friends, among my classmates, a lot of the parents become dementia. I saw them all the time. I felt, even my own client, I felt so sad because they can't remember the parents or remember their children and so forth. So I felt very, very sad with that. So I hope with this, you get a better understanding, and in turns, I hope that you will be able to look at some of the signs and symptoms, so net result you can prevent, move down to the next path. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate on your busy Saturday and listen to our webinar. Thank you very much. 多謝各位朋友，你能夠喺咁忙嘅星期六，亦都繼續聽我哋嘅講座。哇！今日好特別啊，有好多香港朋友啦，盧老師啊，阿 Pat 啊，好多朋友一路係咁聽，多謝你支持。 咁同埋好多朋友係喺美國檀香山羅省嘅朋友都有聽，咁啊多謝先。So I thank you very much. Appreciate you time to participate, asking all the wonderful questions. Looking forward to talk to you next week. Next week, I will talk to you about what is really Alzheimer's disease. And I think it's a real good topic also to further understand what is type 3 diabetic. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. See you later.